Well, hello, and welcome to our Ask the Pastors Facebook Live. We're so glad to have all of our pastors with us. We're glad to have you here with us. And as you are joining, just say hello, send us a wave or an emoji to let us know you're here. And we have several questions that have come in, so we want to get to those as quickly as possible. But first, I just wanted to say hello to each one of you and see how you're doing. How's everything going, Russ?
Doing well, getting a little bored staying in the house.
I can imagine. Yes. How about you, Tim? How's it going?
Yeah, we're doing well. We're keeping on going. School is kind of hitting a routine for the kids, and then we're realizing that we can be a little bit flexible on some of our scheduling of that. So, but we're doing pretty good. Kind of like Russ, we're bored a little bit, ready to be back, but no, it's good.
Good. And so for those that don't know, Tim, say the ages of your kids.
Yeah, so Emma is 7, Caleb is 6, and Maddie is 3. So they're fun ages, but to go along with that, they're all high energy. So praise God, it's been sunny the last couple of days, and we've been able to allow them to run around in the backyard and stuff. But yeah, they're a little bit antsy at times.
I can imagine. How about you, Brad? How's it going?
The wife decided we were going to plant a garden in the back. So we've been working on that. And then the refrigerator went out and the lawnmower messed up. So I've been working on some stuff. So that's so all of y'all that have not been doing that stuff, y'all come on over to the Ken Leho house and we can put you to work.
I wish Russ could come over and help. Yeah, that would kill two birds with one stone, right? All right. And how about you, Pastor Ryan? How's it going for you and your family?
Yes. Yeah. Well, no, we're doing just fine and managing to stay busy with work and school. And in fact, today our middle child, Nate, who's 16,
right? Sorry,
had his wisdom teeth removed this morning. So that's been our excitement for the day. He's doing great, but it made today a little different than other days, to say the least. But
now, are we gonna see like any videos of famous videos?
I tell you what, there wasn't much entertainment there. I mean, he just did great. He responded well, a little swollen, but I don't know that it could have gone any better. So, yeah.
Well, good. Glad to hear it. Well, let's jump in. And Pastor Ryan, you are in a series on the Sermon on the Mount, and this past Sunday, each message has just been really, really helpful and practical for where we are, even in this time of staying at home. And so could you just go back and recap a little bit of what you shared this past Sunday?
You bet. Yeah. So as you said, we are in the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapters 5 through 7. We have completed 2 weeks. And so we've looked at the Beatitudes. And then this last week, we looked at the metaphors of being salt and light. Mm-hmm. And the whole Sermon on the Mount is about life in the kingdom. It's Christ's teaching in his words, what it means to be a follower, a disciple of his. And really the two key takeaways from Sunday's message are encapsulated with the words insult and influence. Mm-hmm. We looked at what it meant to. It was the outflow of the final 8th beatitude that there will be insult, persecution, verses 11 and 12, and so that's where we started, the idea of recognizing that there will be insult towards kingdom living, and then from there we moved to the metaphors of salt and light, that there's also influence for the kingdom. Mm-hmm. So all of that came under the umbrella of being a witness. It's like the world is going to see the life that's being lived for Christ, and there'll be two different responses. There'll be the insult and the persecution, but there'll also be those who are influenced in a way where they themselves are desiring to be drawn into that. And so there's something contagious about that life as well. So that really is where we were at this last Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Well, it really struck a chord, and we had several questions sent in, so I want to jump into those. One is, how can we be salt and light to our neighbors while being socially distanced and respecting their fears of the coronavirus and the situation? You know, we have differing levels of fear or just concern over it. So how can we keep that in mind and be salt and light to our neighbors? So anybody can jump in.
Well, I think we want to respect everyone's opinion. I think, for example, as we were just talking before we went live, if someone feels like we should wear a mask, we should wear a mask to protect them, to respect their opinion. Gets in a little bit to our conversations about going back to church, having church back on campus, which we will do.
Yeah.
One of these days,
We're ready.
we want to respect everybody's opinion as we reopen, and we will be asking for some input about what everyone thinks about reopening.
Great, great. Yeah, I think we have a survey that will be going out sometime this week, and just so we can kind of see where everybody is. But I love what you said about just being concerned about others. This is a great opportunity for us to show that one another love and thinking about concerns that they may have and then adapting to those when necessary. So thanks for that. Anybody else want to add anything to that one? You ready to move to the next? Okay,
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
To me, maybe to ground it biblically somewhere, there were times when Paul is writing to a church where there's disagreements. Meat sacrificed to idols, which is very different than wearing a face mask, but
Right.
Meat sacrificed to idols, or the question of spiritual gifts in Corinth. And so the thing that Paul wants to do in both of those situations is highlight the need for unity. Right? Not uniformity, not that everybody agrees on every nuance of everything. But
Right.
yet, as the church, we are to show a united front, right? And not just that I am supposed to wear a face mask because someone wants me to, but I'm to show deference to someone, right? And so if I can, in some way, acknowledge what they're feeling, right? And also say that out of love for them, I'm going to put away what I think is my freedom.
Yes.
Right? For the good of that individual is really showing love for one another. And even outside of that, we're that's in the context of the church. But I also think about what Paul said, to the Gentiles, I became as a Gentile, right? To the Jew, I became as a Jew, right? And so he was doing that he might win more with the gospel that he was proclaiming. And so even as we think about how we're interacting with the community, as we're interacting as the church together, gathered together, not placing our preferences above someone else's, but showing deference and love for one another.
Yeah, that's a great reminder for us and a lesson for us to learn through this whole process as we live that out. Okay, well, another question was, what are some ways our church, specifically Fellowship of Wildwood, is being salt and light in the community right now, and how can we get involved?
Well, I can say from the student ministry and the kids men, they've been doing something internally to encourage our folks, and that's we've taken a number of more senior or seasoned adult small groups, and we've just been encouraging our students to send cards to them, little words of encouragement, and I know that's been really well received. One of our elders, Brother Dick, he received, Dick Clark, he received a letter from one of the families who attends, and he was so encouraged by that, and so touched that that others would be thinking of him, even though he didn't really know this family very well. They took the time to write to him and to share some encouragement, and that was just a really cool thing. And even among our own body, being as Pastor Ryan was saying, salt being that preserving influence and encouraging one another to persevere and to keep going through times like this can be a great thing to do. And so that's one of the things that the student men and the kids men have been involved in. It's been fun.
I love that intergenerational aspect of the older and the younger, and taking advantage of that and really looking at how we can care for each other from those generations. That's really neat.
Absolutely. And I got to give a shout out to the Kidmin leaders,
Yes.
to Judy and to Sharon, because that was, I think, their brainchild, and it's been awesome. So thank you, ladies, for thinking of that.
That's great. That's great. Okay. Pastor Ryan or Russ, you want to share anything that we're doing in the community and how people can get involved?
Sure. We have an event coming up on May 17th, a week from Sunday. 2 to 4 p.m. We're doing a food drive for Circle of Concern. Some of you may know that Circle of Concern is affiliated with St. Louis Food Bank, which is affiliated in turn with Feeding America. And we've all seen on TV those long lines of cars going by getting food, and so there's a big need. And so this will be something that will be for our local community. And we're asking people to bring items. You don't have to get out of your car. We'll have staff there to take them out of the car. There'll be no contact involved. Social distancing will be observed. And that's coming up May 17th. There's been a flyer sent out about that.
Okay. All right. Well, great. That's a great opportunity for people to help out without feeling the need for contact, like you said. And so I'm excited about that event. Anything else that you'd like to add about how we're involved either here at church or in the community, Pastor Ryan?
I've just been encouraged on how our church family has embraced the use of technology.
Oh yeah.
We've had people participate in small groups. We've had them ask other people to participate with them who've never been into the church building, who are participating with small groups online through a Zoom meeting. I had someone this last week, Sunday afternoon, reach out and say that they are sharing the worship service that's online with their family and friends, and that people are accepting that invitation and worshiping with us and seeing what's taken place. So I know there's so many restrictions right now that it's hard. So many things that we would like to do, we're not able to do, but the things that are online, to really be able to highlight that and think of others even outside our church family and try to bring them in and include them, I think is tremendous. And so I just am greatly encouraged by that.
Yeah, someone just wrote in, Janet said, what about the group that is making face masks for others? That's awesome. Yes, Lynn Haas is leading that, and our seamstresses are sewing masks for different hospital workers and others that need them. And I know that that's an ongoing ministry, that if you would like to get involved, anyone that is watching, feel free just to go on our website, fellowshipofwildwood.org, and find that contact information that is available for you there. We'd love for you to join in helping us with that. And then Brad, as Pastor Ryan was talking, I was thinking about the new course that's coming up. Is that something that you could share about?
Sure. In the midst of this, one of the things that has been a benefit for my family and also the families of our church has been the Right Now Media. And so that is a free way that you can watch and engage in Bible studies. And my children are enjoying the kid men version of all those things that are involved there. But one of our elders, Jeff Roart, was interested in doing a marriage study. And in light of having Right Now Media, one of the great studies that's on there is called Love and Respect. And so the intention is that these couples would be able to watch the Love and Respect sessions together at their own time, their own pace, and then to do a Zoom call meeting with Jeff and his wife Janet and have that interaction that all of us are missing right now. So if you're interested in that, you can still email us at connect@fellowshipofwildwood.org. and we'd love to be able to point you in that direction.
Yes, yes, I think that's going to be a great opportunity for people maybe that have not had that type of connection before to be a part of something. So we're excited about that. I'm seeing a couple of other things. Someone pointed out providing meals for the widows. I know that that has taken place. There's been that provision there for those that may not be able to get out and that have some needs. I know there have been cards sent to assisted living and nursing homes. And so there's just a lot of things going on. And really, if you have an idea or if you have a thought, feel free to email us. And maybe it's something that we already have going on and we can connect you, or maybe it's something that we haven't thought about. So we'd love to be able to share that with you through our website, through our email. There are details on the feed about the marriage class, so we have that information there. So that is wonderful. It's exciting to see how people have adapted to the restrictions that we've been kind of placed under, and it's neat to know that God's word is never restricted. And so there have been many opportunities for us to share. And one shameless plug for women's ministry is our Bible study, which takes place on Tuesday mornings at 9:30 on Facebook Live, Joy Women's Bible Study. Check us out. We'll be in Colossians starting on May 19th. So we have that as well. All right, and here's another question. What are some ways that we can make an impact using the resources that we have right now? And I think this question really goes more to how do we reach out to our neighbors with what we have right now, thinking of social media, front porches, mailing cards, some of the things that we've mentioned that we're doing as a church. But do you have any ideas just for that neighbor that is right next door or right across the street?
Yeah, I think one, social media is just massive. I mean, people are hanging out on social media a lot more during the day than they maybe had opportunity to before, or maybe they're just justifying it differently. Who knows? But but I mean, you have an incredible platform to be able to share, whether it's scripture verses or little thoughts that as the Lord prompts you, and then put those things out there, encourage people, challenge people. Because I think a lot of people are realizing that the things that they put their hope in, it's missing, right? It's lacking, and so they're looking for hope. And we have an awesome opportunity and an incredible platform that we can use to do that. But for the neighbor right across the street, I'll share something because I was blessed by it a little while ago. I had a family that will remain unnamed down the street from me, who decided to send some little letters and notes to our kids and to us, myself and Julianne personally. And it just kind of hit me, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I think to do that sooner? And so even just if it's a case of writing a little note and putting it in your neighbor's letterbox or mailbox across the street and just letting them know that you're there for them. If they need anything, they can call you. If they have any prayer requests, they can let you know. I mean, taking those opportunities to do that. And I think people really appreciate that. I can share one story if you will allow me really quick.
Okay, super quick.
I know,
really
quick. I had a guy misdial me last week. And I ended up calling him back because I didn't recognize the number, didn't know if it was a student or a parent, and I needed to connect with. And turned out this nice gentleman, his name was Roger. And when I called him, I just said, "Hi, this is Pastor Tim. I missed a call from you." And he was like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't really mean to call you. It was a misdial." And I was like, "Oh, that's no problem. It's fine." But he was like, "Now that I have you, I would like to share that I just lost my wife of 64 years back at the beginning of April." And you could just hear he was torn up. And so I asked if I could take the opportunity to pray for him, and he agreed, and he allowed me to do that. And I think, again, that just hit me. It showed me that people are open to you providing hope and bringing comfort in whatever way you can. So take those opportunities as they come is kind of where I'm coming from.
Yeah, it sounds like the simple things are what really works. Writing a letter, making a phone call, offering to pray with someone. Yeah, those make a huge impact right now, especially. Anyone else?
Stephanie, I would just jump in to remind all of us that with the isolation, there has been a number of people that have just really dealt with loneliness.
Yes.
And so for each of us just to think through who within our sphere of influence or circle of friends, might not have as much interaction as a family of 5 that's stuck at home, right? I mean,
Right.
it's a little different for someone that may be living by themselves. And so, just prayerfully think through who that might be, and don't underestimate what a phone call might do
Yeah.
in that situation. And there are safe ways to still even have interaction. I know on the street that we live on, a whole lot of people are home right now, and it's amazing how many are out walking. And I've had more conversations with neighbors over the last month than I probably did, in the last 6 months. Just if people, they're not in a hurry as they walk, by our house. If you'll greet them and just ask how they're doing, make some conversation. That again, I know that seems simple, but it does sometimes take intentionality to be the one to make the first greeting or what have you. But people are out and they're walking around, and as long as we're maintaining some distance, people are willing to talk, and it's just an opportunity again to sprinkle in words of salt and light, and friendliness and hope and joy, and it may really be an encouragement. And so I think about the questions that we've talked about in terms of salt and light, and just think of a map of our area and where all of our church members or households are located, and just think of those of just little places where light and salt can be coming forth. And it may be a concentrated effort like the one that Russ mentioned, where we come together and have a project to work on, but throughout the week, that we just have these opportunities across the city to really be salt and light.
Absolutely. Sounds like it's the little things that make the biggest impact.
Very good. Very good.
No, I appreciate all of those thoughts and ideas. And, as this wears on a little bit, sometimes we can become discouraged thinking that there really is not much that we can do to make an impact. But each one of you have shared just ways that we can step right outside of our front door and make such a big impact in the lives of someone else, or even within our own home, just picking up that phone to call. So thank you for that. The last question that I have really goes to, or the last question that was sent in really goes to kind of thinking through this re-entry time as people may be returning back to work, even as they're interacting with individuals in a work environment through Zoom meetings or whatever may be taking place. This question is, what are some ways you can share your faith, being salt and light, in a place where sharing your faith is not accepted, and you might even fear consequences as a result? So if that is a concern, how can you still be salt and light in that environment or workplace?
I think you can do that by your actions. Back years ago, I helped teach a Cub Scout leaders training course. I did the God and Country piece, and my message was, and I always have to think about this to get it straight, was the Cub Scouts cannot hear what you're saying because they're too busy watching what you're doing. And so I think our actions at work, I think Philippians 1:27 or something like that talks about standing firm. And standing firm means standing firm for something, also standing firm against something. So I think we can stand firm, have a Christian attitude, Christian way of treating other people and so forth at work, even if we can't verbally share our faith.
Oh, that's so good. That goes back to the sermon about letting our good works shine the light, and that light pointing to the glory of God. So yeah, our actions can make a huge impact. Anybody else want to share something and answer that question?
In light of covering what Pastor did on Sunday about being salt and light, one of the texts that I went to and I sort of reread it was First Peter. First Peter's written to a church that is being persecuted, and thinking about persecution. thinking about what Peter has to say to these believers. He says in chapter 2, verse 12, keep your behavior excellent among the Gentiles, so that in the thing in which they slander you as evildoers, they may, because of your good works, as they observe them, glorify God in the day of visitation.
Mm.
So our good works, right, and it's sort of loaded throughout First Peter, but our good works are a testimony of Christ. And one of my mentors put it this way, and I remember it. Our good works give us a platform by which goodwill is built.
Oh, wow.
But yet it doesn't stop there, right? That good works leads to goodwill, where we have to share the good news of the gospel, right? We can't just be for things that are maybe social justice or these other things. We have to be looking to share the one thing that brings transformation, and that is the gospel. So remembering that, and remembering that our good works build goodwill, whereby we are tasked, we have been given a sacred trust, a sacred promise, Matthew 28, to share the good news with that. So.
Oh, wow. Thanks. Thank you for that. I love that phrase. I'm going to go back and watch the replay so that I can write that down, Brad. Thanks. Okay, well, we have just a few more minutes, and those were all the questions that were sent in. So now I get to ask some questions that have been on my mind. I would like to know from each of you, just quickly, don't think too hard about it, what does your daily routine look like now that you've been home for all this time? Have you gotten into a little routine, and what does that look like? We will start with you, Pastor Ryan.
Well, you know, I don't know that there's anything exciting to share about the routine.
Well, some days you're giving yourself a haircut. We never know.
Well, yeah,
Never know.
I did do that. You know, my week is different. I think I mentioned that last week, you know, just in terms of sermon preparation. You know, that's been pushed much sooner in the week. Middle of the week is still involved both with this call that we're doing, but then the 4 pastors, we have a Tuesday afternoon meeting that we do on Zoom, rolling into Wednesday. Wednesday morning, we have a staff meeting that usually goes at least an hour and a half, sometimes longer. So there's a number of those kinds of meetings, and trying to keep track of just how people are doing. You know, I'm getting a number of messages from the church family, and just trying to stay up with all of that. In terms of the normal day, the one thing that I'm enjoying a lot is the fact that at lunchtime and at dinner, our family's eating together. And so, you know, we're preparing meals together, we're eating, we're, you know, just some of those things that maybe we had been doing apart, or had been interrupted some with evening meetings and school events and activities. Some of that has been the silver lining of just, you know, being able to enjoy that together. So that part has been good.
Yeah. Well, Brad, you've already shared a couple of things that kind of came out of the blue, but on a normal day, what does your routine look like?
Well, I would just say that my wife is watching this live, and she sent me this emoji. I'm going to try to share it with you, but it says daily routine. Ha 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 ha. She's been telling me I need a daily routine. And let me just, be a little comical. If you don't know, I don't know if you can see it, but scrub pants are like the best thing, most comfortable thing to wear. And so that's been a daily routine. Get up and put on scrub pants.
All right.
But yeah, the routine has been, there hasn't necessarily been one.
I love it. That's great. That's great. Tim, when you give us your daily routine, will you also include the question that just came in? What things have you started doing that you hope don't stop? You know, like Pastor Ryan shared, eating meals together in the evenings especially, but just give us a little insight into your day and share something that you hope you don't leave behind when you get to the busyness.
Sure. I think, well, from a daily routine point of view, Monday through Friday, we get up, we get the kids working on their schoolwork. Myself and Julianne, we're tag teaming that as best as we can. There are days when I need to be on meetings or do study and prep, and so she looks after it. And then there are days when she needs to run and do stuff, and so I'll take that. The afternoons are fairly chill because we try to get the kids' schoolwork done as early as we can. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But the afternoons have been nice. The kids get to play together, myself and Julianne. We can eat lunch together. We can work on what we need to. And then, yeah, like Ryan, kind of in the evenings, getting to share those dinners together. And I think one of the biggest things for me that I hope doesn't stop, that I've really come to enjoy, is, again, kind of tag team with Ryan, just the extra family time, being able to be around them more. By necessity, having to work out of the home the majority of the time means that while there's a lot more interruptions to what I would normally set my mind to, there's a lot more interactions with the kids and with Julianne, and that's just something I've really enjoyed and treasured, and I hope I can find a way to preserve that going forward as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that we'll all be rethinking and considering how we can not let go of that.
Yeah.
So how about you, Russ? What is a day in the life of Russ Ewing look like during this time?
First of all, I take the long commute to my office. About 10 steps.
Yeah.
A little bit better than the normal commute.
Right.
Trying to stay up on what's going on with the church building, and there are business affairs that continue even though we're not having church services. The construction in the church worship center, by the way, is coming along well.
Yes.
I think we'll all be pleasantly surprised when we return to church with that. Other things going on. Just talked today with a cleaning company about making sure the church is disinfected and all that before we go back. Some things that I don't want to give up are Polly and I are spending a lot more time together. We're cooking meals. We're working jigsaw puzzles. We're watching movie on TV together occasionally. I've had some really good conversations with my son in Oklahoma and his wife, Abby, Jeff and Abby. What I have given up is frequent visits with the grandchildren. I'm looking forward to getting that back.
Absolutely. Well, one thing that has happened in my daily routine that I do not want to leave behind when we get back to the busyness of life is that my older children have volunteered to cook dinner several nights a week. I got a phone call today from one of them who said they will be cooking. So I think we could just build that in and keep that going. I'm all for that. So, okay, well, real quick, somebody asked, how is the goose in the pot, the flower pot out front? I want to give a goose update very quickly. If you didn't know, we have a mama goose out in a flower pot by the kind of in between the chapel and that side door in the front lobby. And this goose had built a nest, and we were able to see at one point that there were 5 eggs. And so today I'm here in the office and I went to check, and all the babies are out, and mama and daddy were walking them around, and there was 1 egg that didn't hatch. And so I'm not sure about that one, but the mom and daddy led the little geese down to, goslings I guess they're called, down to the pond, the lake back there, and so they're just moving on. So life has continued, and it's been a blessing and a fun time to watch that. I know several church members have driven by to take a look at what's going on out there. So, okay, well, last thing, and then we're going to probably need to stop, is what is one thing that you look forward to when we can get back together as a congregation? So just shoot this off quickly to us, and let's start with Tim. What's one thing that you're looking forward to when we can get back together?
I don't think it's hard. I'm looking forward to being able to see people, and whether it's still with social distancing or not, whether we can do fist bumps or I'm a hugger. I like to hug people. I love to enjoy time together. So that's what I'm looking forward to when we get to that stage.
When it's okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, Brad, how about you? I know that you don't want to leave off those scrubs, but what's one thing you're looking forward to?
Looking at Facebook with some of our families, it looks like the kids have grown
Yeah.
immensely over the last couple months. So I look forward to seeing how much they've grown and just being able to go, wow, feels like it's been, a year
Yeah.
since we've seen you, and you've grown that much over a couple of months. So
Yeah.
that's been fun.
Absolutely. How about you, Russ? One thing you're looking forward to?
I'm with Tim, seeing the people. I think the
Yes.
people is what it's all about.
Absolutely. And then Pastor Ryan.
Yeah, this may surprise you. I would say singing together as a
Oh,
congregation.
yeah.
My little family has had to endure the best that I can do when we gather around and try to follow the worship team. My wife has a wonderful voice, so she
does.
keeps it going. But I just know that I've really missed that, just the
Mhm.
congregational nature of us lifting our voices together in song before the Lord and praise. So I in my mind, I think that when that time is given back to us, that we're just going to be ready to praise with loud voices and really exalt the Lord together. I look forward to that.
Absolutely. We have so much to look forward to, and I'm excited about that and getting a little weepy about it. But thank you. I had a game we were going to play, but I think I'll let that go until the next time.
No.
I know you're disappointed. I know. I'll let that go till the next time that I'm with you. But thank you for your answers. They're so helpful, and it's nice just to get to hear from you, see your faces, and just learn a little bit about what you have going on. And we will do this again next Tuesday. I believe Kara will be with you. So y'all have a great afternoon. The sun is shining. Looks like it's going to be a pretty day. So
Thank you for hosting, Stephanie. We appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, guys. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.